We will see now how the human body can be seen from the spirituality point of view. Basically, we see human body as a biochemical machine, and in the beginning, in the childhood, at the time of conception or conceiving, the body cell grows on developing. After some time, the genetic of that particular cells, they control the physical growth of the body, and accordingly the genes which are inherited by the kid from mother and father, and whatever predominance of the genetics or genes which is going to take place, these features will get reflected into the kids. Another aspect is a psychological aspect which goes that goes on increasing later on. The personality setup and the psychological setup of the human being which is going to grow. Now the phase of his childhood, the biological growth, then the youthfulness, then adulthood, then latter ages and the older ages. This is the phase with which the body of that kid will pass on based on the genetic configuration. The genetic program will also decide what will be the end of the life as per the timing, because all the growth, that is adolescence, childhood, adolescence, then adulthood and then later stages, these are programmed aspects of human body. And now this particular human body will slowly grow and that will decay. This is a biological path of this particular body. Another aspect to it is a psychological aspect. Now there is thing to be investigated whether that particular aspect is associated with the psychological genetics or some other factors such as soul or spirituality is going to play some role into this. Now there is little confusion. Now if you take it as psychological inheritance because of the genes which is going to be there, that is going to continue with that particular body till the end of the life, and the incidences and the experiences of the body and the mind and the sensitivity of the mind will decide how the human being is going to grow in that situation. Now this is one of the aspects. The second aspect is as per the classical spiritual or religious understanding, soul enters into the body at some time and then that stays inside the body for some time till the time of natural death, and that goes off after the death, which is a natural death. One important thing over here, there is another understanding that whenever anybody dies prematurely before the stipulated time of the body, then that soul doesn't have any place to go, and we call them as ghosts or something like this. So these kind of things probably may be coming into the picture because of this, because this soul which are accidentally eliminated from the body, they will not have any place to reside. There may be some management that's not yet seen or analyzed, unless otherwise we technically analyze them. There is not a proper proper way, or rather it's not good or proper to comment on this unless we scientifically analyze. But some of the aspects says that there is a possibility of certain soul which is there, and that gets induced into the body and that gets liberated after some time. Now there is a certain aspect where we can this becomes, the concept becomes strong, because what happens is the control of the body, the program of the body, the dynamic things which are happening day to day body, metabolic and psychological activities, these will be monitored by or managed by certain agency, and possibly it may be a soul also. Another aspect is that existence of soul, that also is to be investigated in the scientific point of view. Now there is one problem associated with technically analyzing and coming to the conclusion associated with soul is there is no physical measure of identification of soul, because we can say now if you take a photograph, that becomes a visual spectrum, that we have got a visible light and we can take the photograph. But in case of soul it doesn't happen so we have to investigate what is the possibility of the wavelength where we can pick up this photographs or any other means of identification of the soul. Okay, that point is over. The fact is that the journey of the body, biological journey of the body from the childhood, that is conceiving, to the childhood, adolescence, growth, and then latter stages of the life, this is the biological journey of that body where it is programmed by the genetics. And second thing is that the psychological backdrop of that particular human body is the experience of the body and the sensitivity and the basic traits of that particular body. They play a role from the birth to the death. Now this journey of the body from biological and psychological point of view, that becomes your life. So our life is nothing but that journey from different stages of the life, and our perception level, understanding and abilities to understand, analyze, they go on changing with respect to time. Intellectual ability, education, and the interest also, that again attributes the psychospiritual or psychological approach of that individual, how he is taking the situation or analyzing the situation. Okay, so here we come to a particular conclusion that the life is from childhood to the death, that is childhood, adolescence, and then the grown-up adulthood, and later on declining phase, and then old ages. This is biological with some psychological changes in the color perception and understanding. That complete combination, that package, it's a life. It's a journey of individual from the beginning to the end through that particular body by virtue of the perceptions is life. I hope we have understood that particular aspect. Again, one small point remains, that is the spirituality or the soul associated things that we will investigate in the subsequent videos. Thank you.